Reflections on the Good News of Jesus Christ for the second Sunday of Ordinary Time from the Gospel according to John. There was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servers, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now and take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although the servers who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom, said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then, when people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs at Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him. The good news of the Lord. Sigmund Freud wrote that there are 4 participants in every marriage: the woman, the man she thinks she's marrying, and the woman he thinks he's marrying. The realization that the person we married is far from perfect and a lot less awesome than we thought is the first crisis just about every marriage faces. Rabbi Harold Kushner reflects on this conflict between fantasy and reality in his book, Overcoming Life's Disappointments. Rabbi Kushner observes that it's not only about the shortcomings of our mate, it's about coming to terms with our own shortcomings as well. In his words, "I confess that I have a bias in favor of remaining married to the person you are married to. I believe that there were probably good reasons why you married the person you did, and those reasons are still there, buried under the debris of mistakes and hurt feelings. This, of course, does not apply to cases of physical abuse and criminal behavior, which no one should be asked to tolerate. I believe, and I have seen this happen in so many families, that with a little digging, one can rediscover those good reasons, those good feelings. And I believe that a little humility helps here as well. The ability to see where you may have contributed to the problem, and the willingness to tolerate imperfections in your partner as you tolerate them in yourself. One marriage counselor I know would often say to each member of a couple he was advising, "I've heard enough about your complaints about each other. Can you tell me something you've done that has contributed to your unhappiness? And something you can do differently to make things better?" For what is love, our love for each other, and God's love for us, if not the willingness to accept something less than perfection? If you are mature enough to love someone, you are probably mature enough to love the person you are living with, even if he or she isn't the person you fell in love with and married. So writes Harold Kushner. Something that can make a tremendous difference and can help to strengthen the marriage relationship is by paying attention to the language you use. Like many pastors and ministers, the Reverend Samuel Wells has prepared hundreds of couples for marriage in his role as vicar of St. Martin in the Fields Church in London and as former dean of the chapel at Duke University. In an essay in The Christian Century, Reverend Wells writes that the focus of his work with couples is helping them unlearn 3 words that can unravel a marriage and replacing them with the 3 new words. The first word he challenges couples to unlearn is if. If is about bargaining. If you keep your side of the bargain, I'll keep mine. Wells writes that on the wedding day, the 2 people being married dispense with the word if and replace it with the word always. Their love is no longer conditional. It is permanent. If is the language of contract. Always is the language of covenant. If is provisional. Always is unconditional. The great Rabbi Jonathan Sacks explained the differences between the sort of contracts that flourish in the world of individual choice and covenants that flourish best in those realms that are deeper than individual utility. A contract is about interests. A covenant is about identity. It is about you and me coming together to form an us. That is why contracts benefit, but covenants transform. The second word couples need to unlearn is for. For is the curse of a marriage, Wells has found. For is scorekeeping. Each spouse tallies up all the things they have done for the other and expect the totals to even out. The wedding day, Wells says, is the day to quietly put that word away and replace it with the word with. With requires constant relating, regular recalibrating, honest rebalancing. The point is never to do it well or quickly or efficiently, but to do it together. And the third word that couples need to unlearn is ask. Asking all the questions has to take place before the wedding, Wells writes. Asking what the future spouse likes and dislikes. Asking what he or she loves and values. Asking about the other's loves and hurts. On the day they exchange their marriage vows, asking must give way to wonder. Wonder about the future they will make together. Wonder says, dream with me, ponder with me, explore with me, discover with me. When you ask, you almost always have an idea of the right or desired answer. When you wonder, you're opening your heart to something neither of you yet knows. Always with wonder. The understanding of those words can transform 2 souls into 1 heart. Those 3 words are the beginning of a journey together toward a future of hope and promise. In embracing those words, a couple begins to experience the peace and love of Christ's resurrection in their life together. Resurrection is not just the central tenet of our faith as Christians. Resurrection is also an attitude, a perspective for approaching life and sorting out the decisions and complexities of our lives. The God revealed to us by Jesus is not about endings, but beginnings. God always calls us to start again, to put aside the old behaviors, to embrace all that is good and affirming about the time we have been given. Resurrection is to live on in the hope that the struggles we encounter in this life are but a prelude to the fullness of joy in the next. Such resurrection can be lived in our lives today when if becomes always, for becomes with, ask becomes wonder. The willingness to make such changes in a marriage is a sign of real love. Good, if imperfect, marriages manifest the love of God at its most powerful. Love that enables spouses to navigate together the life's hard roads of fear, disappointment, heartache, and illness. That Jesus performs his first sign at a wedding, as today's gospel tells us, underscores the sacredness of marriage as the revelation of God's healing forgiveness and compassion in our midst. As ministers of the marriage sacrament, husbands and wives, in their love for one another, reveal to all of us the great love of God the Father made real for us in the person of his Christ, the bridegroom. Thanks for listening. And if you found this reflection worthwhile, please pass it on. You are also invited to subscribe to our website and receive these reflections every week. www.justanother disciple.com. Thanks again.